Hello everyone! We're doing something a little different again. I know it's a little different every time I make a video, but I am learning how to do this by changing how it goes, because then I can change the quality. But there's a better reason for why this video is different, and that is because my birthday is coming up, and I thought it might be a bit of fun to explore this thing I got. I won this in a charity quiz just before Christmas, and I haven't opened it yet, so I figured we'll explore it, we'll open it, we'll have a go at what's inside, and then I might try my own thing based on what's in there. Okay, so what is in here? Let's see. This is a Art Maker How to Draw Manga Ultimate Kit. And inside it includes a 64-page sketchbook, a 48-page instruction book, 6 specialist manga pens, 2 fine liners, 2 graphic pencils, 1 eraser, 1 sharpener, and 1 French curve ruler. Sorry. I don't know why I went to call it an eraser. I don't know how much faith I have in this kit because the artwork on the front looks digital to me. These, they don't say if it's alcohol markers or not, they just call them manga pens. So we'll explore that. Okay, so let's get this thing open, shall we? There's a paper thing on it, so let's take that off. And a white sulfur to take off. There we go. Okay, so this is the box. I have it upside down. Yes, I do. It's made of paper, like a cardboard. So I've 2 clasps and a handle thingy. I probably won't use this after I've taken the supplies out, so we'll see what happens with it. Okay. Okay. So here's our how to draw manga booklet, where there were instructions. I've used a few of these before in the past when I was learning how to draw, but I ended up finding that life art just ended up teaching me better. But we'll have a look through here and we'll pick one of these and we'll do it anyway, following the exact instructions from here. And then afterwards, then I'll see if I can make my own thing. Use the sketchbook. It will kindly come out of the case. There we go. I do apologise for the noise. Look. Yeah, it's just like printer paper, nothing special with it. I don't know how it's going to hold up with markers, but we'll find out. The rubber. We've got a sharpener. Never used one of these before. Don't know what it's for, but we'll find out. Our pencils, we've got a HB and a 2B. So those hard ones soft. And then fine liners. It doesn't say what size tips they are on the barrels. Yeah, they're both the same. Okay. There's these pens, they say art marker on them. Okay, so we have a chisel tip. And a bullet nib. So we have a dark blue, a lighter purple, baby blue, kind of tealish colour, orange, some kind of peachy skin. Well, it matches me, and I'm pale as all hell, so I don't know how the ink's going to look in that. And brown. Everything out of the box. I'll put this over here so it's out of the way. Excuse me, cat. Could you kindly look after that for me? Thank you. Okay, so here's everything. The pens, the fine liners, rubber, sharpener, pencil, the ruler thing, sketchbook, and how to draw manga kit. Alright, I'm gonna look through here and I'm gonna pick one out and we're gonna try it. One thing I've noticed is they don't give you like a pink pen that's the same shade as the girl's hair in this. So I'm not entirely sure what they were expecting of you. Also, it is digital art, I can tell. You can see the digital brush marks on it. So that's called having faith in your product, isn't it? So I've had a little look through this now, and a lot of it is actually pretty good information when you think about it. Because going from the beginning, just to show, it talks more about materials and how facial expressions and just general rule of thumb things, as well as different shapes. A couple of things are instructional, but most of it is just talking about how to get to certain effects, like certain expressions and all that in the face. And it does have an instruction thing towards the end, showing how she got from this little doodle here to the girl that was sat on the cover. And I shouldn't really riff about it, because it was actually made by... They actually list the artist in the back. And I really appreciate that. Because quite often you'll get a kit like this and it's got a lot of nonsense in it and it doesn't even say who drew it. But even though the artwork, I can tell, from what I can tell, is digital, and they're selling you a traditional kit, I appreciate that they actually showed the artist that they collaborated with to do all the images for the booklet and the art, for the materials and all that. I do appreciate that. Right, we'll have a go with this. Let's get into it. So before I actually started any of the artwork, I decided to swatch out my materials. That way I would know what I'm working with. As I was going through these, I came to realise that the markers that I was given were actually alcohol markers. At first I thought they were going to be water-based markers, but then the more I laid them down, the more I fiddled with them, the more I realised, no, they are in fact alcohol markers. I will say that they are not terrible. The colours are actually quite nice. But I do have an issue, and that is the colour choice for this kit specifically. Themselves work perfectly fine. It's just that when comparing to the artwork on the box that they're basically saying, oh, you can do something like this, you can't. So I have done the wire method. The next step jumps straight in with a lot of detail, but not all the detail. And then basically you got your finish line out here. Reading this, it just says, oh, add some details, and so you will be over the pen. So I'm assuming you do this and you also follow some of the skills and things they talk about in the book. Like talking about specific wire meshes for limbs. There's a how to draw eyes one. So I'm assuming that's what they're expecting from you to do. So I'm just gonna go and fill it in myself. I'll probably do it using my own skills. What I was trying to say there, and absolutely muddling my words over, is that I wasn't gonna copy exactly from the book. I was gonna look at the instructions right at the end showing the diagram of how to draw this specific artwork and then replicate it. Now, I will say the final outcome of me replicating this artwork is not good. This is mostly down to the fact that I'm not used to drawing anime. Yes, I look at anime figures and all that for the body and proportion type of things in some aspects. When it comes to the face and eyes, it's not my usual style. Another thing I struggled with was the hair. I realised after looking back on it that I have definitely missed quite a few strands. And one of my biggest issues is with the paper provided. Because it is just regular printed paper, it kept wanting to bleed. And because of the colour selection, I didn't have any midtones. I went from having really bright colours to having really dark colours, and nothing between. I couldn't do any blending. So when it came down to colouring, I really struggled. I'm just gonna try and match this as best I can. There are colours on the picture that I don't have. Like, I don't have any yellow, and I don't have pink, so I'm gonna do what we can. It's a bit strange though, really, because you'd expect they would give you the colours that were on the picture on the front. The correct pens were actually displayed on the front of the box. I just thought it was a bit strange that they weren't the same colours as the main feature artwork that was plastered everywhere. I didn't like the paper provided in this kit. This is because it was a printer paper, not meant for markers. Whatever markers I put down would not blend, and they also just bled through to the page behind it, meaning the page I am currently drawing on is actually the 4th page in the book, from my swatch sheet, which was done on the 1st page. So it bled through 2 pages, and this is the nearest one to the front that was marker free to draw on. I don't have anything to put here that's yellow because skin tone is more yellow than anything. And it does not match Yarwick's colour at all. So what I'm going to do is I have got an orange. So that's what I'm going to use instead while I wait for it to dry. I coloured in the star hair clip and the top orange because the only yellow that I had already used on the skin, and I didn't want to have to dip out of my art box to grab more materials. I wanted to try and keep this within the materials provided from the kit. You can see that I'm actually struggling to do any sort of blending on the girl's shorts, and that's because I've got too pale of a colour and too dark of a colour. Because the colours aren't close enough, they're not blending at all. And it's just making my life a little difficult. I did try to do it. I'm sure if I had the right paper it would blend a little bit better, but I don't think it would have blended much. They are such polar shades of blue that I would need a mid-tone to even get these to work together. Coming to think of it, I am a little bit sad that I didn't get any mid-tones for any of the colours, like not even orange. Because it would have been nice to see how these pens would have blended with each other, but I can't do that experiment because I haven't got colours that will blend together. Of course, I don't have to blend the colours together, but at the same time, I would like to, you know? Something I actually forgot to mention is that the artist is called Ruth Keach. She's a manga illustrator, and her work in this book is actually really nice. In the book, she breaks down how to use the wire method, how to form different expressions, and how to draw eyes and mouths, as well as just different body shapes, and how to actually build upon the wire method, which I really appreciate. I wish I had actually done the sensible thing of reading through that before starting my drawing. So, that's my fault there. I am not done yet. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to get a different sketchbook and use my own supplies. And I'm not going to copy the same drawing again, but I am going to borrow some design elements of the girl to create my own drawing based on what I have in front of me here. Okay, so I have done the sketch now. I'm going to outline it, and then I'm going to use my own markers to colour it. I've decided to try and make it so that the character is kind of like a reflection of the anime character that was in the box. So instead of a star hair clip, she's got a moon hair clip, and she's facing the other way. So I'm just thinking, oh, let's make them match, but not make them the same. So it's, you know, it's its own thing. Also, as for what markers I'm using, I'm going to be using a bunch of different brands. Because these are what I have. I have a lot of the Touch Raven twin markers. I had these in a big packet. There was a bulk packet for like a birthday or something. I've got some Copic Chows. I've had these for years. I bought them when I was a teenager and I was going through a bit of a phase. I was like, yes, Copics, because I was watching other people draw with them. Only to realise I'm not the first on markers, but I'm still going to use them. So these have not been used up, so I still have these. And there's a couple of Ohuhu ones thrown in there now and again. And there's a couple packets of Pro markers. I quite like these, to be honest. They're really nice and juicy. So, as for pens, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to use this Unipin 0.5 pen that I found. I've tested it, it doesn't bleed with alcohol markers, so should be fine. The paper I'm using came from a sketchbook that I bought in a place called Home Bargains, which is a chain shop store in the UK. Best way to describe it is it's got a little bit of literally everything in there.
it has furniture, it has food, and it has some art supplies. So that's where I got that book from, and I actually really like this book. It's got thicker paper in it, so it's really nice for heavier supplies. I've used it with watercolor paints, and now I've also used it with alcohol markers, and it seems to work perfectly fine. With the alcohol markers, it has very minimal bleed through. Now it's lined! Right, let's go with my markers. Because I had more colours to select from, because this is my own collection, I was able to pick colours that matched a little bit more closely to the colour scheme of the artwork on the box. But I decided not to go with the exact same colour scheme because I wanted this image to kind of partner with it and not be a direct copy. I chose a very similar skin tone, but other than that, the rest of it was its own thing completely. I chose a pen that was more on the peach side of the colour rather than the straight yellow that came with the kit for the skin. And I also used a little bit of like a pink to give it some blush. And I was able to blend this wonderfully. I'm really happy with how the blend came out. When colouring in her top, I decided to try and redeem myself with the blue. I did this by going in with a light blue and then going in with dark shades to try and make it look a little bit on the sheer side, just because I wanted to see if I could get that effect to work. I'm really happy with how it turned out, even though I did make a small mistake and not use a pale enough blue for a little section behind her that I wanted to be a bit paler. But other than that, I'm very happy with it. I decided to make the shorts look like denim. So I first went over it with the lighter colours, but then at some point I realised that wasn't quite working out. I needed to do some shading on the shorts. Say that 5 times as fast. But I wanted to make sure it wasn't a vibrant colour. I wanted them to be a little bit on the duller side, so instead I used some grey after going over it in blue first. I think the top and the bottoms are so similar. I'm gonna darken this up with another marker. Give me a second. Now, I didn't actually use the brown pen from the other kit. And I think that because I have these pens now, and this is in the same video, I showed at least one pen in there. So I'm going to use the brown from the kit. I'm going to use the brown from the art marker kit, and I am going to colour the belt in using it. I'm planning on doing the hair in purple. So now why am I grabbing a pink pen? I don't have the exact shade of purple that I wanted, and I'm hoping that by layering these two I can get the same type of purpley colour I'm after. Clearly my extensive collection of markers isn't nearly extensive enough. I decided to try and do a watercolor technique where you layer 2 different colours to try and make another colour, but because I can't mix in a palette, I mixed on the page. I was skeptical that it would work, but then... oh hell yeah, it worked! Success! We were cooking on gas! I had the exact shade of purple I was going for. I mean, yeah, it looks a little bit grainy, but I'm not too disheartened by it. It's still a shade that I like and I can work with this, and I actually decided to leave some gaps of pink to be like highlights, sort of, because I kind of liked how it looked. So I just decided to keep it. And lucky me, I had the exact shade of purple I wanted to use in my shading. Blending is going to be interesting here. So I'm going to not only blend with the purple, but I blend it with both these colours to make it match. Okay, I have no idea if that was just me losing my mind or me being extremely excited. Despite my excitement to blend, I tried to keep it blocky to try and not need to blend. That way, I can keep a better consistency of the purple that I've already created. Which in short means it won't end up patchy. I decided then to move on to the tights. I tried to make them look like a really sheer pair of tights where you can see a reflection going down the center as to where the leg kind of curves. So I went back and forth to try and make it look like that. For this, I stuck to my greys, making sure to work from the lightest grey down to the darker greys. And I also tried to stay away from any of the warmer tones and kept with the cooler tones. This was mostly a personal choice, but it was also because I wanted to make sure that it didn't interfere with the rest of the artwork. Because I had used mostly cool tones on it, I felt if I had just done the legs in warmer tones, they would have just stood out far too much. I am in way too deep with that now, it's too late to change it. Oh, I forgot to mention, the reason why my girl has a moon hair clip is because I wanted her to mirror the girl from the cover. That's why she's also sitting down, but she's facing the other way. I wanted it to be almost like a, this is her version, this is my version, of like a similar idea. I didn't want them to be the exact same, but I wanted them to look like they would fit together, you know?
Thank you so much for watching that video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching that video. Here's everything we've made today, these two little drawings here, and this is the booklet I followed that came in the How to Draw Manga kit. So here's the one that I copied from the book based on these instructions. From start to finish drawing, and I wasn't too fond of this, mainly because the colour choices. These are the colours that came in the packet. These are the colours that were displayed on the artwork in the front that was the tutorial to follow. The kit itself was pretty good. All I would say is some different colour choices would have made it even better. Other than that, I found it pretty well. The markers actually worked out really well. Paper quality was a bit hit and miss, mainly because it is just printer paper, so don't expect too much, especially with the bleed through being as bad as it is. This is one I did myself, inspired by the artwork that was on the cover. I drew this using a variety of markers that I already owned, as well as my other supplies that I own. Just, you know, your basic pencil, a couple Copics, mostly used these CMYK Design Works pens, as well as some 2 Raven pens. I'm really happy with the results of today. I mean, just don't look at that one, and we can be happy, okay? That was nothing to do with the instructions on the kit. That was just basically the pens provided, and me not being too comfortable, not really copying, but like following instructions from somebody else's art process when I've already developed my own. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!
Oh hey, you still here? Please don't forget to like and subscribe, it would really help me out. Bye!